Plastic pollution has become one of the most pressing environmental and public health concerns of the 21st century. While plastics have enabled technological growth, convenience, and economic development, their widespread presence in our air, water, soil, and food has raised urgent questions about their health impacts. Researchers warn that macroplastics, microplastics, and nanoplastics are now entering the human body, accumulating in tissues and interacting with our most basic psychological systems.
Microplastics and nanoplastics can enter the human system through ingestion, inhalation, and even skin exposure. Once inside the body, these particles may accumulate in organs, disrupt cellular processes, and trigger inflammation. This video examines the effects of plastic pollution on human health, with a particular focus on reproductive, metabolic, and food-related risks. Emerging research shows that even low-level exposure to these particles may impair fertility, disrupt hormonal systems, influence metabolisms, and compromise food safety. The rise of plastics is a story of industrial growth and convenience culture. Since the 1950s, global plastic production has increased substantially, resulting in the accumulation of trillions of tons of waste across ecosystems. Weak regulatory frameworks, limited recycling systems, and international waste trading have worsened the problem, especially in the developing regions and coastal areas. Environmental processes such as sunlight exposure, mechanical abrasion, and natural weathering break larger plastics into microplastics. These particles travel through water currents, wind, and soil, entering food systems and ultimately the human body. Food systems are a major source of exposure. Microplastics have now been found in seafood, fruits, vegetables, table salt, bottled water, and processed foods. Wastewater discharge, industrial runoff, and contaminated soil introduce plastics directly into crops and livestock. Plastics are cheap, durable, and profitable. Industries that depend on plastics have historically influenced environmental policies, imposing restrictions and discouraging investment in sustainable alternatives. This has resulted in a global use and dispose culture that disproportionately affects low-income communities with fewer resources for safe water and food. Plastic pollution reflects patterns of environmental injustice. Wealthy nations generate the most waste, but often export it to poorer regions. According to U.S. Senate findings, developing nations suffer the highest ecological and health burdens from plastic pollution, even though they contribute far less to the problem. Nanoplastics are particularly concerning because of their ability to cross biological barriers, including the placenta and the blood-brain barrier. This suggests possible impacts on fetal development and neurological function. Microplastics and nanoplastics transport toxic additives, endocrine disrupting chemicals, and heavy metals. Once inside the body, they can trigger oxidative stress, inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction, and DNA damage, all pathways linked to cancer, metabolic disorders, and hormonal problems. Reproductive health research reveals troubling insights. Nanoplastics can disrupt hormone regulation and reduce gamete quality in both females and males. These risks are not limited to individuals. They may affect future generations, suggesting population level consequences. Food contamination occurs at multiple stages: production, packaging, transportation, and processing. As Kata Chapska and colleagues argue, the globalized, industrialized nature of modern food systems creates structural vulnerabilities that allow plastics to infiltrate nearly every step of the chain. Studies of wildlife show inflammation, reproductive harm, and cellular disruption resulting from plastic exposure. Since humans share many biological pathways with animals, ecological toxicity research serves as an early warning for human health risks. Plastics accumulate in algae and other small organisms, moving up aquatic food chains until they reach our plates. Despite growing awareness, technological and policy advancements have not kept pace with the production of plastic. Innovative solutions, such as converting plastic waste into carbon based materials for energy, are still in early development and not widely scalable. Plastic pollution is no longer just an environmental problem, it is a direct human health issue. Microplastics and nanoplastics are entering our bodies through food, water, air, and standard products. Research shows clear links to inflammation, endocrine disruption, reproductive harm, and metabolic dysfunction. However, the roots of this crisis are social and structural, including political economic pressures, global waste inequalities, weak regulation, and a food system that is vulnerable to contamination. Addressing plastic pollution requires coordinated global policy, stronger food safety regulations, better waste management, and investment in sustainable materials. Understanding both the biological mechanism and the social forces behind the problem is the first step towards real, meaningful change. Thanks for watching.